Hey everybody, how you going? We've got Norm here. Just out on Lake Byron, having a look. The dam is beautiful. It's absolutely chock-a-block full. I think it's the fullest I've ever seen it. Everything's green. The water's actually clean. But yeah, I want to have a chat to you about a couple of years ago, around this time actually, I found out that I had diabetes. I was actually really sick. I lost a family member, and for years I'd felt terrible, like really bad. Every time I went to the doctors, which wasn't very often, I had high blood pressure. Always got told, here you go, get this blood test. Never did. Just typical man, put my head in the sand and didn't want to know about it. But anyway, I went in. I finally plucked up the courage to go and talk to the doctor and say, look mate, I feel really crook, like really crook. I think I'm dying. And said, okay. So he asked me what was going on. I told him all my symptoms and that. He's like, oh, yeah, you don't sound real good. So he sent me off for a blood test and pretty much tested for everything. Cancer, diabetes, you name it. All the stuff doctors test for. So I come back and my blood sugar is through the roof. It was like 33 on the original test, and he's like, man, you got diabetes, mate. He said, how do you feel? I said, well, I feel like I normally feel. I feel like I'm dying. He's like, well, you must be used to feeling like this because most people would be in hospital now with that reading. So anyway, he sent me on my merry way, and told me to go and get a blood glucose tolerance test done, and another blood test at that time. So I got that, and I went back, and my blood sugar had come down to like 31. So yeah, he's anyway, he sent me off for a blood glucose tolerance test, and in the meantime, I didn't know anything about diabetes at all. So I jumped on YouTube and Google, and I found out that if you reduce carbohydrates as well as reducing sugar, you actually can reverse your diabetes. And I'm like, well, I'm going to give this a go. So anyway, it was like 4 or 5 days later. I had totally cut out bread, sugar. Was still eating a bit of fruit. Didn't really know what I was doing. I was still winging it. And anyway, I went, and just in that few short days of not eating the way I normally ate, like I used to feel like I was low in sugar, so I'd go and get a Kit Kat Chunky and a 750ml Dare iced coffee and smash that down and feel great. But it was just my body craving sugar. It's kind of evil the way our body works. But yeah, so when I went for my blood glucose tolerance test, just those few days of eating properly, I'd come down from 33 to 11, and I was actually feeling a lot better. So anyway, I did a glucose tolerance test, and yeah, went from 11 to 20 and then 22 the next hour. And in that time, I started to feel like I was in a rage. It was crazy. So that explained why I'd probably been the angriest person in Australia for probably the last, I don't know, 5 or 6 years. I had absolutely no reason to be angry. I had a good life, good family. Things were going well. But yeah, I was always angry. Everything ticked me off. So yeah, I actually had a sugar rage. Yeah, it was crazy. I was so angry driving home, and it was funny because like that hasn't happened since, because I've just I now treat sugar and carbohydrates as if they're poison, and really it's not that hard to just cut them out. You just got to think, like if you're going out, meal prep, take food with you. I'm the guy who takes a a chicken and a salad in a box to Macca's. Like, I don't care. What are they going to say? Oh, you can't eat that here? I go, well, I can't eat your crap. It's your crap that got me this way. So yeah, type 2 diabetes is reversible. It's not curable. I certainly can't go back to eating the way I used to eat, nor would I want to anyway. I mean, at my highest I was 115 kilos, and I got down to 72 kilos pretty quickly from, I think I'd actually come down to about 98 kilos when I got diagnosed. But apparently that's what happens when you actually, body goes, all right, you got diabetes now, you lose weight. And yeah, of course, I never got checked out. So here I am just thinking, oh, it's good I'm losing weight. But it wasn't until I actually kicked the sugar and the carbohydrates and exercised a lot more that yeah, I came down to 72 kilos, and I think I'm back up to 76. So I sort of filled in that loose skin a bit, but yeah, no, it's doable. Just yeah, don't give up, don't get upset. I'm here if you want to have a chat, drop me a line, and it's not the end of the world. So if you're watching this video and you might have come down with diabetes, or you're feeling sick, or generally if you haven't been to the doctors for a long time, go to the doctors and get a checkup. Because yeah, I honestly thought I was dying for, God knows, probably somewhere between 10 and 5 years, somewhere in there. It's all a bit of a blur life because it's all so busy. But yeah, I didn't feel well for a very long time, and now look at me, I'm feeling great. I'm out in my kayak, having a paddle, catching fish, making YouTube videos, working as a disability support worker. Really opened my mind up, opened my life up. So yeah, go and get checked out. If you do have a serious illness, doctors are there to help you. I used to say that doctors make you sick. They don't. Doctors don't make you sick. We make ourselves sick with mostly our negative thinking, poor mindsets, bad habits. So yeah, get checked out. Look after yourself. Peace and love, everyone. Have a beautiful weekend.